Let me tell you something, and you better listen close. Money doesn't mean a damn thing when you're standing in a hospital parking lot at 2 a.m., clutching your phone like it's the only thing keeping your world from unraveling. I've seen big men break, but nothing like the way Jonathan Okafor did that night. Imagine the richest guy in Lego suit crisp, Bentley shining under the streetlights reduced to just another husband begging a doctor over the phone. Do whatever it takes, just save her. Please, don't let her die. You know what I mean? Suddenly, none of it matters, the power, the fear, the respect. None of it. Because his wife Monica, the light of his life, is up on the fourth floor, fighting for every breath, and no one can tell him why. Monica, she was the strong one, beautiful, the kind of friend you dream about finding and then hang on to for a lifetime. She'd been fine that evening, curled up on their leather couch, laughing at some dumb movie, and then, out of nowhere, she'd gasp, clutch her chest, and just slipped away. 1 minute there, the next gone like a light bulb burning out. They rushed her here, doctors scrambled, machines beeped, but nothing made sense. All the tests clean. Heart, lungs, blood perfect. Medically, she was fine. Spiritually, like someone had shut off her soul. And for the first time, Jonathan's money couldn't fix a thing. That's when the cracks showed. He just ended another hopeless call, wiping tears off his face with a sleeve that probably cost more than some people's houses, when he heard a voice behind him, soft but steady. I can help her. He turned and, honestly, thought he was hallucinating. There stood this kid barefoot, ash-colored dress, hair wild, dirt caked on her legs, eyes hollow like she hadn't slept in days. My name's Amaka. I can help your wife. Now, picture this. Billionaire CEO, probably the most powerful man in a 10-mile radius, and a homeless girl who looked like she wandered out a nightmare. Not now, kid, he snapped, voice sharp with grief. But she just stared at him unblinking, almost peaceful. Please, just give me one chance. Something about her, maybe desperation, maybe faith made him pause. He told her to follow, and they walked straight past security, past nurses and doctors who gawked like they'd seen a ghost, all the way to Monica's bedside. Inside, Monica looked as pale as the hospital sheets. Machines beeped, nurses whispered, but everyone froze when Jonathan brought Amaka in. She says she can help, he muttered. The doctors tried to protest. This is a hospital, not a circus, but Jonathan's voice was steel. Let her. Amaka knelt by the bed, closed her eyes, hands folded, and prayed. Not loud, not for show, just lips moving in silent battle. Time hung heavy, the air thick enough to choke on. Then Monica's finger twitched. Just once, barely there, but enough. The monitor picked up speed. Monica coughed, soft at first, then stronger. Her eyelids fluttered, and then, just like that, she woke up. Where am I? She whispered, and the whole room just exploded. Nurses dropping clipboards, doctors rubbing their eyes, Jonathan falling to his knees beside his wife, sobbing like a child. Monica, for her part, turned to Amaka. I heard someone praying. I followed the voice. Jonathan, still shaking, asked the only question that mattered. Who are you? Amaka just shrugged. I prayed. That was it. No magic words, no drama. She didn't ask for thanks, didn't look for a reward. But Jonathan? He wasn't letting her go. He called for his driver, told him to bring Amaka home. You're not going back to the street, he said. Not ever again. That night, Amaka sat on a soft bed in a mansion that smelled of lavender and new beginnings. But she couldn't touch the food, couldn't believe this was real. Monica, now glowing with new life, knocked on the door and asked to join her. Thank you, she said. I believe you were sent to save me. Amaka looked down, voice barely a whisper. You don't know my story. And so she told it. 3 years earlier, Amaka was 12, the joy of her family until a dream warned her of disaster. She begged them not to go on that Sunday trip, but no one listened. Hours later, a truck slammed into their car. Only Amaka survived. Instead of a miracle, she became a pariah, blamed, called a witch, chased from her home by the very people who should have protected her. They said I should have died, too. She ended up under a bridge, a lost child with nothing but her prayers. My gift isn't magic. I pray, and things happen. Monica listened, tears streaking her cheeks, and promised, we'll give you your sky back. Jonathan hired tutors, filled her world with new clothes, new chances. Amaka studied, prayed, tried to believe and hope again. Then, another miracle. Monica was pregnant after 10 years of heartbreak. When a test came back positive, she wept in Jonathan's arms. "You didn't just save my wife," he told Amaka. "You gave us a family." Soon after, Amaka passed her aviation exam. She was finally going to be a pilot, her old dream, alive again. But darkness still lurked. A black car appeared outside the mansion. Uncle Ina, her accuser, watching, waiting. Threatening notes arrived. "You should have died." Jonathan swore to protect her, but Amaka remembered something chilling. The night before the accident, she'd seen her uncle pay a mechanic to tamper with their car. It wasn't an accident. It was murder. Jonathan and Monica pushed her to go to the police. At first, the authorities needed more proof, so Amaka returned to her old village with Jonathan. She faced the native doctor who'd called her evil. "Why?" she demanded. "Because you saw the truth." That frightened him, the old man admitted. That was the missing piece. Back in Lagos, armed with confessions and surveillance footage, Jonathan handed everything to the police. Ina was arrested quietly, suddenly, as if justice had finally caught its breath. The trial was national news. Orphan girl exposes uncle. Amaka stood in court, voice steady, telling the truth about her family, her visions, her pain. Monica wept. Jonathan beamed with pride, and Amaka became not just a survivor, but a warrior. When the verdict came, life in prison for Inathi, family celebrated not for the headlines, but for peace. That night, Jonathan raised a glass to the girl who gave us everything. Amaka smiled, but the story didn't end there. A tall stranger named Andrew approached her at the party, saying, "I think we're about to write a new story together." Amaka blushed. The future suddenly looked brighter. 1 year later, she stood in her pilot uniform at graduation, Nigeria's youngest, best, a living testimony. Jonathan and Monica, with their baby Grace, cheered her name. Amaka accepted her diploma and spoke from the heart. "I am not just a survivor. I am proof that kindness, grace, and silent prayers can change everything. If you've ever felt worthless or broken-handed, you are a miracle waiting to be seen." Later that night, as the party wound down, Andrew found her again, teasing, "You always make people cry." Amaka laughed, hope glowing in her eyes. They began a new chapter together. On her wedding day, Jonathan, the father who almost turned her away, whispered, "Saying yes to you gave me everything I didn't know I needed." And as Amaka walked forward, the girl once cast aside now soared, with Grace in her arms and the world at her feet. So, let me ask you, what would you have done if you were Jonathan? Is justice about punishment, or is it about giving someone a second chance to fly? Comment below. Share your thoughts on right, wrong, forgiveness, and what real family means. Because stories like these, they don't end, they live on in the choices we make every day.